I'm Colleen Sheehan, and this is Next Generation Classics, and I'm here to show you why classic cars are just as amazing as modern supercars. And today I'm going to show you with this Ferrari 328 GTB. The Ferrari 328 GTB was made from 1985 until 1989. And during that time, there were a lot of competitors. There was the Lamborghini Yalpa, the Lotus Esprit, Porsche 911 Carrera. But out of all those competitor cars, the 328 actually had the most horsepower at 270 horsepower. The 328 was the successor for the very popular 308, but there were a lot of changes made to the car. So of course, as Ferrari is making new cars, they have to improve it with each new model. And the 328 has a lot of visual and mechanical improvements. Visually, it's very easy to tell a 308 and a 328 apart because of the bumpers. On all 328s, the bumpers are more recessed into the car, they're more rounded, and they color match the car, whereas on 308s, they were bigger and plastic bumpers. And now, mechanically, the 308 is 3.0 liters, 8 cylinders, and the 328, you guess it, is 3.2 liters, 8 cylinders. The 308 and 328 were made immensely successful by Tom Selleck driving a 308 in Magnum PI. And the 308 was really the first mass-produced Ferrari with over 6,000 built. And because they did so well with that, they ended up building over 7,000 of the 328s. The 308 that Tom Selleck drove was your traditional red over tan. And because of that, about 80% of all of the 308s and 328s were made in red. So having a black one like this is quite rare. But let's break down the numbers even more. So there was about 7,400 328s in total, but of that, over 6,000 of them were GTSs, like Tom Selleck's car, whereas only 1,344 were ever made as a GTB, like this car. And then on top of that, there were a division between the US cars and the European cars. So in 1986, when this car was made, there was only 373 GTBs made overall, but only 26 of them ever came to the US. And then to go even further, in 1986, they only made 6 328 GTBs in black over black. So technically, this car is one of 6. A few years back, I set a record-breaking price for the sale of a 328 GTB in black over black. It sold for $320,000. And the funny thing is the owner of this car was the underbidder on that other car, and he wanted a black over black GTB so much that he was able to find and buy this car. And so this car, being another black on black car, is extremely desirable. Now, there's nothing wrong with your traditional red over tan, but because there were so few made in black over black, and because it's one of very few GTBs instead of GTSs, it makes this car a very collectible car. The 328 and 308 are well known for being very reliable cars, and they're also quite easy to work on. So if you're one of those kind of do-it-yourself mechanics, this car is actually fairly easy to service yourself if you know what you're doing. Now, if you do want to send it out for a service, because the cam belts can be changed in the car, the cam belt replacement costs are drastically lower than something like a Testarossa or a Boxer. So on average, the cost would be about $6,000 versus $15,000 or more on something like the TR or the Boxer. And these cars also have pretty bulletproof ECUs. They're the last of the all-analog Ferraris, so they don't have a bunch of electronics that go bad. The successor to this car was the 348, and that one was prone to pretty bad electrical problems, so luckily you don't have to worry about that with the 328. There are lots of different kinds of 328s in how they've been maintained and driven throughout the years. And because they're such user-friendly cars, it is not uncommon to find them with 40, 50, 60,000 miles because many of them were driven quite a bit. So not only is this car a more rare color compared to your normal red over tan, but it also has only 25,000 well-documented miles. So that makes it even more collectible. There are lots of variations on what makes a car collectible. Overall production numbers, but then you get into the number crunching, like with this car, the 1 of 6 in black over black for that year. And always when you have low mileage on a car, it definitely helps its collectability. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and learned a little something about the 328 GTB. Please help me preserve the passion for these amazing cars. Subscribe and stay tuned because we got a lot more content coming very soon.